Welcome to the show, where we discuss time-tested and science-supported tools for better health, long life, and pleasures.
Hi, I'm Lilian Zeltzer, and for over 3 decades, I researched, practiced, and hunted for natural secrets for better health, longevity, and pleasures. In the process, I discovered many time-tested and science-supported natural stimulants, which helped me, my loved ones, and many others to improve and enjoy a better life. Because as Hippocrates said in the 4th century BC, if you are not your own doctor, you are a fool. On this note, if you don't enjoy your life as much as you used to, because something constantly affects your mood, behavior, emotions, libido, decisions, career, relationships, or social life, if you really don't know what it is and you want to fix it, then watch this episode to find out what you can do to restore your happiness. Our expert guest today is Doctor of Functional Medicine, a founder of Nova Pax Wellness, and an alleged Star Wars nerd. Welcome to the show, Dr. Lance Cutsforth.
Lillian, it's an absolute pleasure to be on the show with you on the show today.
I'm, of course, very excited about Nova Pax, your innovative way of treating people with certain mental disorders. It is, I understand, based on an ancient wisdom, time-tested remedies, and modern scientific discoveries. What exactly is Nova Pax Wellness? How it works, and who should consider using it?
Well, thank you for asking. Nova Pax is Latin for new peace, which is our ultimate goal for all of our guests. We don't necessarily refer to people as patients or clients. In our time together, the people that we get to come in contact with are our guests. And it is our goal to lead them on a journey to take them from where they are and the struggles that they're facing and help them get to a point of truly enjoying life, being able to let go of things that may have happened in the past that are impacting them and how they're processing life. We use a combination of things. We use sound therapy, which goes back to the beginning of time. But even if we look at human history, whether you look at Gregorian chants, whether you look at shamanistic rituals and drums and vocalizations, we've used music to heal. And even if you think you can be driving and maybe you're in a particular mood and then one of your favorite songs comes on and then suddenly your mood is elevated. Music has that healing quality. And there are even certain frequencies that have been shown to resonate through the body and to bring healing. So we use a combination of healing. We use hyperbaric oxygen therapy by saturating the body with more oxygen. We increase cellular health. We increase the ability to metabolize free radicals, and we optimize brain performance. We use transcranial electrostimulation, which helps us repair downregulated parts of the brain, and then we wrap that with integration therapy. To help people process through challenges from the past. And then our secret ingredient is something that's not well known, and that is the noble gas xenon. We've found in our research that xenon, it doesn't bind with anything biologically, but when our body is exposed to higher concentrations of xenon, for lack of a better word, it polishes our neuroreceptors, our dopamine, serotonin, GABA, and NMDA receptors. So we're really optimizing the brain's ability to go back to factory settings, if you will, and also let go of traumas and things of the past, so that we can embrace the joys of the present and plan for even better futures.
It's wonderful. So, in other words, can I say that, Nova Pax translates from Latin is a new world. So, you invented a new world of treatment where you use all different natural stimulants that one way or another will help person. If something doesn't work, then the other thing will work. So there's a chain of treatments that in its entirety will definitely help someone who has that kind of mental problem.
Absolutely. And when we talk mental problems, ultimately, we've got three aspects of wellness. We've got our physical aspect, we've got our mental, and then we've got our spiritual or our emotional. So with that trifecta, we wanted to make sure that we're addressing all components. We need to fix the neurosynaptic connections in the brain that might have experienced physical trauma. And that could be from when you were a child and fell and hit your head when you were learning to walk or ride a bicycle or contact sports, or being in a car accident, or even hitting your head on the cupboard when you're putting dishes away. We can create microshears in the brain tissue that will alter our neurosynaptic connections. Then we have emotional trauma that we can face through experiences in our life, primarily from birth through 9 years old. Those are when a lot of those significant emotional events create our default mode network, or how we navigate through life. We do have significant emotional events later in life that can alter that state of how we navigate. And then we've got the spiritual or the emotional connection aspect that we definitely need to make sure that we're connected with as well, so that we can truly enjoy this time that we have here in this existence.
Yes, well, it is a difficult subject, mental illnesses. It is a known fact that mental illness is recognized as a sickness, but there is still an unfair social stigma attached to it, where no one wants to be known having that mental problem, which makes many sufferers suffer in silence and hold back from reaching out for help. Could you please explain why mental health challenges are not a moral failure, and what Nova Pax offers in its protocol of care?
Sure. And thank you for shining the light on the fact that behavioral challenges or mental wellness issues aren't moral failures. And as we're navigating through life, we utilize what I call the available tool theory. So as we face significant emotional events in life, we look around for tools that we can pick up and use to help us navigate through those difficult things. When I was in the military, for example, let's say we faced a really difficult situation. We lost somebody in a combat operation, and we came back. If we went to seek mental wellness within the military community, it was almost like cheese in a rat trap. We knew if we sought that care, that we would be stigmatized, we would lose promotions, we would lose the ability for upward mobility. As much as they told us that wouldn't be the case, we knew that was. So that wasn't really an option. So we cast around for available tools. Typically, the tools were alcohol. The tools were porn, nicotine, high-risk behaviors, getting in fights in bars. These are things that we used as coping mechanisms to navigate through life. While our psyche was pliable, we would pick up these tools. And then once the psyche kind of cools down, then that tool is gripped in your hands. And that's the tool that you use to continue through life. And then our subconscious, our default mode network, doesn't like change. We are creatures of habit. Our subconscious controls 90 to 95% of what we do. Our cognitive brain only controls 5 to 10%. So our subconscious is navigating us through life using these tools that we picked up, which is why if you've picked up alcohol as a tool and you start getting stressful, then you're going to go pour yourself a drink, and then you're going to pour yourself a second and a third, and it's not working. Oh, well, then I need more, because that's the pattern that we've utilized. So it takes a significant emotional event to kind of loosen up our hands so we can drop those tools and pick up better tools. But again, if we don't have tools on the tool table to pick up, we'll go back to old tools, which is why many times just simple behavioral modifications or cognitive therapy doesn't work, because we haven't created the pliability in the psyche to drop the old patterns and pick up new patterns. So what we do, we utilize our combination of modalities. It creates that pliability in the brain. It creates that neuroplasticity. So then we can help people recognize that the tools that they use to survive aren't necessarily the tools they need to thrive. So then they can put down the old tools and pick up new tools. One of the examples I use with my patients is, if you're in the wilderness, an axe is a great tool to have. You can use it to cut down branches, to make yourself a shelter. You can use it to dress out game that you've hunted. You can use it to defend yourself. But if you want to build yourself a nice luxury villa, an axe is not a great tool for that. You need to put down the axe and pick up power tools and learn how to drive cement mixers and things like that to be able to build your beautiful villa. And you need somebody not only to supply you with the tools, but to teach you how to use them. And that's part of what we do.
Absolutely. There is professional help or tools that we need to use. And there are some do-it-yourself tools that can help in certain situations to cope with problems. Say, if somebody finds himself, herself in a dark world, in a dark corner, is there a do-it-yourself tool for a person to apply and feel better instantly?
Absolutely. One of the things we need to recognize is, because we are creatures of habit, we will fall into patterns. We'll start down a pattern of behavior, whether it's being anxious or negative fantasy or downward spirals or these dark places that you refer to. Now, one of the easy things we can use, or a couple of easy things we can use, are pattern interrupters, things that some people call them biohacks, things that we can do to interrupt the pattern. And I'll give you an example. You can be having a conversation with somebody, and if somebody comes in and interrupts you while you're speaking, then you lose your train of thought, right? We have that saying, "Oh, I lost my train of thought." Well, that's because the pattern, which is us communicating, was interrupted by something. And so now it takes us a while to get back to it. We can do the same thing for ourselves. We can interrupt. If we recognize, oh boy, I feel like I'm going to go pour myself a drink. Okay, well, we can interrupt that pattern. Or, oh, I'm fixating on this thing, or I'm being anxious. So one of the things we can do is, there are breathwork techniques that we can use. There's a great friend of mine by the name of Leland Holgate, who's taught me some wonderful breath work based in ancient breath techniques that are Guizhong and Kundalini, even some Wim Hof and other things. And he's developed a program with Willful Warrior. But I'll give you one of his secrets called 60 Seconds to Freedom. And in fact, if you like, Lillian, we can do it together and I can show you how it works. It only takes a minute.
Absolutely.
So what we do, we're going to start off with a cleansing breath, and then we're going to do a series, what we call a breath of fire. And so it's going to be through your nose, and we're going to breathe in and out, in and out. And we're not going to stop at the top or the bottom. It's just going to be a constant up and down, up and down. So we're really stimulating the olfactory bulb, and we want it to be loud, aggressive breathing, in, out. So we're going to take a cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then we'll do 10 in, out, all through the nose for the in, out, in, out, in, out. And then on the 11th breath, we're going to take it in through the nose and we're going to go all the way up as full as we can go. And then we're just going to hold it. And we're going to hold it and we're going to hold it. So that's what we're going to do. But now we're going to go ahead and experience it. Okay.
Absolutely.
So we're going to take a nice cleansing breath in deep. And then let it out. And now we're going to start breath of fire. So in, out. Now all the way in, hold it, 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 and just ride the wave. Just ride the wave. Feel it wash over your body and hold it, and hold it, and hold it. And when you're ready, you can just let it out nice and slow.
Oh, that
Isn't that wonderful?
feels wonderful. It actually creates happiness to be able to breathe out, to exhale. And it makes me feel happier, definitely. Definitely, it's wonderful exercise. I do know a lot of breathing techniques which I practice, but this one is something different, something new. You have new purpose of this technique. Well, it is actually working instantly, which is wonderful. But when I talk to people, some of them worry that if they will reach out to psychotherapists, well, they will become dependent on them, and it will be expensive, and it will be for life. How expensive is the treatment? How long does it usually take for a person to feel better? And what is the Nova Pax's rate of success?
Great question. And there are a lot of different, I guess, modalities of care in the mental wellness space, and there are methodologies that where yes, you connect with a therapist and you're with that therapist for years and years and years. My belief, my philosophy is, you should be able to transition through. Somebody should be able to guide you. So my personal belief is anybody that is leading people on a journey of mental wellness and discovery should have gone down that road themselves first. It's hard to lead somebody down a road that you've not been on yourself. And there are some wonderful therapists out there. There are some that are train wrecks that are many times project their own damage and issues onto their therapist. So step one is being very careful and very discerning as to who you connect with. The second is anybody that's looking to put you on a lifetime of pharmaceutical augmentation. I would be really skeptical of that. Medicine should never be a lifetime sentence. They should be something to help you transition from point A to point B. As far as our protocol, Typically, we meet with a patient, we do an initial assessment. I put the patient on a 2-week education cycle where they're learning a little bit about themselves. They're setting their intentions. We're educating them about the process that they're going to go through. I start them on supplementation because most patients are typically deficient in magnesium, vitamin B, vitamin D3, some other things. So I make sure that we're helping to balance their micronutrient levels. Mental health and gut health are so interconnected. 95% of the serotonin in your body is produced in your gut. And you've got 7 of 15 serotonin receptor types live in your gut. That's why we call the gut the second brain. So with our protocol, 2 weeks worth of starting to get people to more of a homeostasis and an education cycle. When they come through the Nova Pax protocol, we have 2 treatment sessions. Each last for about 2 to 2.5 hours. And so typically it's a Monday, Wednesday, or a Tuesday, Thursday. And then after that, and in supporting that, if it's a Monday, Wednesday treatment cycle, then on a Tuesday, Thursday, they'll have a 60 to 90-minute interaction with a coach or a therapist to help them process the things that end up coming up as a part of the therapy, and to help them really determine that new path that they want to go on. Help them to release some of the traumatic memories and things that have held them back. And then after that, we start them into a 60-day program that's 10 to 15 minutes a day, built around their schedule. And it's something where now that we've got pliability, we help them identify patterns that they want to drop and new patterns that they want to pick up. And then we build that consistency to build those new patterns into their life. So all in, we've got 67, it's about a 75-day program. And then on the other side, we're running about an 85% efficacy. Some people need to come back through again. Most don't, because we've set them on such a great trajectory. They can continue to self-actualize. And price point for us is it's just under $5,000. So when you look at, some people say, oh, well, gosh, that's expensive. Well, if you compare that to years of therapy, if you compare that to that lost promotion, if you compare that to a DUI, people need to if the engine blew up in your car, Lillian, you'd figure out a way to pay the $5,000 to get your engine fixed. You only get one of these, and you only get one life. So we need to prioritize ourselves so that we can truly enjoy our life as it's intended to be enjoyed.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you that the best investment one can make is in her or himself, because your life is worth it. There is no magic pill, and it does take between 70 to 90 days for your processor to change patterns and establish new links. That's why your commitment to treatment and practicing the same things at home would produce a result. But actually, I have another question.
Sure.
The last question. It's about love and sex.
Mm-hmm.
To what degree the state of mental health impacts libido? Is it reversible? Any success stories that you can share?
Oh, and absolutely. Just like in life, there are 3 aspects of intimacy as well, right? There's physical stimulation, there's mental stimulation, and then there's that intimate or spiritual connection, that emotional piece. So if any one of those is not operating well, then we don't get the full experience. And so for example, somebody that's maybe a sexual abuse victim, that has that trauma from the past is going to have a hard time finding that intimacy. But if we can clear that trauma, if we can help people realize that when you're in the present, you have no control over what happened in the past. Those are memories, but they know that no longer exists. And not that the impact doesn't exist, but if we can help people to process that and realize, okay, that was a part of the past, but that doesn't have to be a part of me anymore. So if we can let that go, and if we can also not worry about the future, because the future hasn't happened yet, it doesn't exist either. What exists is the now. And so if we can help people really be present with their partner, be present in the moment, and realize they've got these beautiful gifts of this physical intimacy, of the mental stimulation, the connection, and then the emotional intimacy. If we can clear that baggage, then absolutely we can turn things around. Testosterone supplements, for example, can help men with their energy, but it doesn't necessarily help with intimacy. And so there are great herbs, there are great medicines that can help with the physical aspect of it. There's visualizations and making sure that we're appealing to each other visually to help with that. But if we can clear the emotional trauma, then that really allows that intimacy, and that takes things to the next level.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree that the cause of the problem should be removed before any kind of band-aids would help. In conclusion, I would like to say, if deep down someone believes that they need to reset their mind to be able to enjoy life, and it is too difficult to do on their own, then these people needs to use link under this video to reach out to Dr. Lance, who is located in the United States. But these days of technology, everything is possible, and some sessions can be run online, if I'm correct to say that. Well, on behalf of our viewers and myself, I would like to thank you, Dr. Lance, for your time and for providing wonderful, useful information to many amazing people out there. I hope that this will make big difference to some sufferers. And I hope to see you again on our program.
Thank you, Lillian. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor to be on the program with you today, and I look forward to our future encounters.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you won't miss any of the new episodes. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions, please put them below the video. I do read them. If you are looking for a good, reliable source of specific ingredients, experts, services, or products, click on the resources link under this video. To health, long life, and pleasures.